Hello and welcome to another Canguroenglish Daily Digest. My name is Christian and today we're going to be talking about movement, specifically this kind of movement, twisting and turning and bending movement. And it's related to today's word of the day, which is writhe. Yeah, so the W is silent, right? It's writhe. And because we have an E, we have these two vowels together. This is the long vowel, writhe. And to writhe means to sort of twist and turn, normally when you are in pain, right? So maybe if you are a soldier and somebody shoots you, you're on the floor, you're writhing in pain. Or maybe if you are playing football and you twist your ankle, you are on the floor writhing in pain. Or in football, you can just pretend to be writhing in pain to get the foul, right? There are lots of footballers who like to hit the ground and writhe in pain, right? Anyway, now this word writhe, it comes from an Old English word which means twist or turn, right? Twist or turn. It makes sense. You're on the ground twisting and turning. And there are other words that are related. For example, there is a word awry, which is A-W-R-Y, awry, same root. Awry means when something goes very, very wrong, very badly. You could say, oh no, this wedding has gone awry. Because the wedding was going good, it was all going perfect, and then twist, bad twist. Or you could have a wry sense of humor, which is R-W-Y. A wry sense of humor is not straight and clean. It's a little bit twisted and ironic. And also you have another word which again is related, which is wriggle. Wriggle is like, imagine if you're trying to catch like a worm, or you're trying to catch a snake, and the snake is wriggling. Yeah. This is what my son, my 5-year-old son, he comes into my bed in the morning and he wriggles like this. Oh, it's infuriating. If you have children, you know what I'm talking about. The wriggling. Why? Now, this relates to another really interesting thing I wanted to talk about, which was writing. Because in all of human writing that we know of, there are a lot of similarities, right? Like you can read from left to right, like English, or you can read from right to left, like Arabic, or you can maybe read right to left and go from bottom to top, right? Like I think Mandarin Chinese is like this, from bottom to top. But they all have similar characteristics because you normally have letters which represent sounds, or letters which represent they're symbols for either phonemes, or they're symbols for objects which relate to vocabulary, right? But there are some writing systems which have been invented, completely invented by people who want to try and understand the limits of writing and why do humans in general write in this way. If you saw the film Arrival, great movie, love that movie. The film Arrival, the aliens came to Earth and their writing was like circles with like smoky, kind of liquidy circles. And so that's one possible way to pass information graphically. But there is a language called Unka, which was invented by Alex Fink and Cy, and it looks like this. Okay? So this this weird symbol, okay, you can probably see that quite clearly. This is a sentence, okay? The sentence says, I understood from my parents, as they did from their parents, that they became happier as they more fully grokked and were grokked by their cat. Okay, so all of that sentence is contained in this diagram, and the website is amazing because it shows how you construct these weird diagrams. Like, for example, this, if you do a line like this with an arrow, this mentions somebody else, and really fascinating topic, because it makes you realize that although some languages seem very different, like when you look at human languages, like maybe you could say that English and German are quite similar, but English and Mandarin Chinese are not similar, they're very different. But really they're not that different. They're not that different. And it makes you think about, if aliens came to Earth, how would we communicate with them? Would it be possible? Like maybe they would have vocal cords that were different from ours, or no vocal cords. Maybe they would communicate using ultrasound that we can't even perceive, or maybe using light, things that are outside of our human senses. And it makes you, I hope it makes you appreciate that maybe learning English is not that hard compared to this. maybe. And I actually learnt about this on the website Reddit, in the language learning part of Reddit, which is a great place to learn new things. And I saw something else, which was about fear, because a lot of people have sort of fear of speaking, especially fear of conversation, and maybe they get very nervous before like an important moment in English, like you get very nervous before an interview, or you get very nervous before maybe a meeting, or even a date, right? A date with a nice man or a nice girl, right? And someone on Reddit said, listen, whatever you do, don't stress before the event. Because if you stress before the event, you have to stress twice. You're putting yourself through the stress twice. Once when you imagine it in your own head, and then a second time when you actually do it. So just forget about it. And I think that's great advice. My grandma, before she died, she said, well, her whole life she said, you die if you worry, and you die if you don't, so why worry? And I know that it's difficult to live by those words, but we can try, I think. Anyway, I hope you found this interesting. More Daily Digest coming tomorrow, and some YouTube videos coming very soon. I'm finishing them now. Have a great day. This is Canguro English, and I'll see you in class.